hello over there. It's been a little while, and another book review. Not book review, a story review. And it's a Fazbear Frights story. Now, I'm going to review my number one now favorite Fazbear Frights story. And that is Out of Stock. And I'll be using the graphic novel adaptation because I don't have the second Fazbear Frights book, Fetch. I don't have it. But I'm not sad about it because I don't really care for Fetch and Lonely Freddy. Out of Stock is one that is interesting to me. So I'm gonna review it, and I'll be showing images from the graphic novel as well. Although I kind of already did that before, so yeah, let's go. Out of Stock is about a second grade high schooler called Oscar who just can't seem to win at life. But he always misses opportunities. When something is there, he can get it, but something always stops him. But this time it was different. There's this really popular toy that's very popular in town. It's called Plush Trap Chaser, and it works exactly like the FNAF 4 plush trap. Obviously, these are not the same, but they work the same. They walk in the dark, and freeze in the light. Stopped by flashlight or any light. And Oscar really wants to get it. It's his favorite character. He has two friends called Isaac and Raj. They're really close. They're really great friends. No fights or anything. They're great friends. And so, what they decide is, the sale for Plush Trap Chaser was on Friday. And they planned to ditch school and get the toy first, but they couldn't. Because Isaac and Raj's parents are really strict. If they found out they ditched school, they would be toast. But once he was at the hospital, Mr. D told Oscar, when there's an opportunity and you know you want it, you should get it. But here in the graphic novel, it says, I'm trying to tell you to quit tilling. It's time to pick. Oscar's mom works at a hospital, and his father died a few years back then. So, Friday comes, and they go to get the Plush Trap Chaser, and there is, at the Emporium, fun fact, the Emporium has gone bankrupt 3 times, almost gone bankrupt 3 times, but somehow they're still open. The line is big, and everyone wants the Plush Trap Chaser, and I mean everyone wants it. And then, Oscar watches a lady buy one, and all of a sudden, a problem. The Plush Trap Chaser is, guess what? Out of stock. So there's a big protest in the crowd at the mall, because they're like, no, boo! What do you mean you're out of stock? Yeah, something like that. But then, Oscar hears a conversation between 3 employees, 1 female and 2 male. It's really interesting, this dialogue. It's of course different in the graphic novel, but since I don't have the book, Fetch, I have to read this one instead. I think we need to call the police? Who processed this return? Parts of it look more real, almost human. It can't be from the manufacturer. Are you sure? Did anyone look at this one before it was sold? Someone would have noticed, wouldn't they? I still think we should call the police. And say what? Hey, we think we got a situation here. See, someone returned the toy, and funny story, now the toy looks too lifelike. Help, officer, help. But fun fact, on page 142, the lines are given to the wrong people. This line is supposed to be said by the teenage staffer, but it's said by the female worker. And this was not said in the original book. It's not just lifelike, it's disturbing. That was not said in the original book, original story. So yeah, Oscar takes his time, remembering what Mr. D said, and he grabs the Plush Trap Chaser. He's like, I'll buy it. And they're like, no, you can't buy that one. That one is not for sale, because they know something is wrong with it. I mean, this Plush Trap Chaser is different. It has human eyes and human teeth. But they managed to grab it. Oscar didn't technically steal it. He left the money and then ran away with it. The guards stopped chasing them when they went over the fence. When they get home, however, they notice that the plush trap chaser looks very different from the ones they saw before. It has realistic human eyes and teeth. Imagine a toy with human eyes and human teeth. That'd be horrifying. They tried to activate it, but nothing works. Then they try to open its mouth with a butter knife, so the knife breaks. But in the graphic novel, it is shown as a screwdriver. But the lines are the same as in the original, which is odd, but still. So yeah, it's been days and the plush trap chaser still doesn't work. Oh, before that, Oscar's mom is in his room, drinking coffee and reading newspaper. What happened at the Emporium is at the news. And the mom knows something is up, but Oscar just lies and says, "Oh, we weren't there. That must have happened after we got there." So yeah, a few days later, the plush trap chaser is still not working. So they decide to fix it. No, to return it. But the Emporium has been replaced by Hall's Halloween hallway. They try to return it, and it doesn't work. So they decide to keep it. And this is the best part now. It's Halloween, and they are planning to go on the better parts of the city to collect candy. Because who wouldn't? And Isaac and Raj are playing a video game, and Oscar is still trying to fix the plush trap chaser. They're like, "Dude, why wasn't trying to fix that thing? It's broken, it won't work." But then Oscar's mom calls and she asks him to come and help her the next day. And then Oscar gets really angry. Yeah. I'll actually read the lines, which I said here to show you what he said. Let's go, it's actually quite good. "Hello? Hello? Oscar, are you there? Hello? Can you hear me? Ugh. This storm. Can you hear me? It's Mom. I can hear you. Little man, I need your help tomorrow." "Sure, Mom. I'm sorry to ask you. I know how much you hate asking. It's just that with this storm tonight, we'd had so many people call in sick. We're going to be completely backed up on laundry and charts tomorrow, and are you listening? Uh-huh. Wait, no, Mom. No, not tomorrow. I knew you'd be upset, hon, but Mom, tomorrow is Halloween. I realize that, but sweetie, aren't you and your friends a little too old to be... No! Why do you always do that? Do what? You act like I'm older. You never let me be a kid. Dad died, and you expected me to just grow up. Oscar, I stole it, okay? I stole the stupid plush trap toy. Your little man stole it." Yeah, good job, dude. And suddenly the power goes out, and the plush trap chaser kind of activated, like fetch. When the power went off, and it was lightning, fetch activated. Something similar with plush trap chaser here. So, a funny artwork here. Oscar tries to put the plush chaser to charge, and this happens. He gets electrocuted. And all of a sudden, the plush trap chaser is now awake. It begins chomping the door, trying to get in. Before that, it bangly louds on the door. And it comes out, but the size of the plush trap chaser is different here than in the original book. In the original book, the plush trap chaser is said to be around 3 feet tall, but here, plush trap chaser is 4.5 feet inches tall. Half the size of a door, actually, almost. So yeah, they remember the flashlight, it attacks, but the flashlight keeps flickering, and things don't get off to a great start. Then they remember, on the other side of the town is much more better, there's lights. So they think the flashlight can be stopped by the lights, we'll go there. And this is rather creepy artwork right here. A better detail of how human eyes and human teeth. They go on to the other side of the town, to the railroad tracks, and They jump over, and this would be Plush Trap Chaser's defeat. As Oscar was going down, he stayed, he moved away, but the Plush Trap Chaser didn't see the train, and it got basically whacked. And that was the end of the Plush Trap Chaser here. Whacked and killed by the train. The next day, Oscar apologizes to his mom, and she apologizes to him for being so depending on him. And that was the end of Out of Stock. This is the second story to have a happy, uplifting ending. The first being Into the Pit. Oh yeah, something I want to say. Out of Stock replaced Into the Pit as my #1 favorite Fazbear Frights story. Replaced it. Yup. It was like something like Night of the Living Dummy. It was something like a Goosebumps story, which I liked the most. And it's also connected to Stitch Wraith Stingers. In Epilogue 2, Plush Trap Chaser's remains are collected by the Stitch Wraith. In Epilogue 5, the Plush Trap Chaser's remains are seen in Stitch Wraith's hideout. And in Epilogue 10, this is really interesting, it's revealed that Eleanor was one who made the specific plush trap, giving it human eyes and human teeth, revealing its origins. Yeah, quite an interesting story. I really love Out of Stock. I don't have the original book, but at least I have this. While things are different and the art is weird to say the least, I'm okay with Out of Stock's artwork here. I'm okay with it. It does look weird, I'll admit, but I'm okay with it. But the Plush Trap Chaser is literally shown on the cover of the book. Why is it different? Different artist. That's why. Yeah. So yeah, I really loved Out of Stock, replacing Into the Pit as my favorite, my #1 favorite Fazbear Frights book. Yep. Now it is Out of Stock that is my favorite story, and that's how it will be. Here is my 3 favorite Fazbear Frights stories: Out of Stock, Into the Pit, Count the Ways, and other bonus 3 stories: To Be Beautiful, Room for One More, and What We Found. I already did a summary on What We Found, and I'll probably do on To Be Beautiful as well, but until then, see ya.